Monster Legends Guides, where we talk about monsters' moves, rune sets, partners, all that jazz. Today we are talking about General Uria, the first general I will be talking about from my general series that will be going on for the course of this week. I'm going from my favorite general all the way to my least favorite general in the entire game. Odds are you guys already know what that least favorite general is. Yeah. So we're just gonna go down the list, favorites to least favorites, and all that jazz. So yeah, what's Uria? What is Uria? You gotta ask that question every time when you mention a general. What is so and so, or just like any. I'm just kidding. General Uria is the Thunder General of the General series. He's a very good monster all around. Very nice stats, respectable power, respectable life, respectable speed. Despite that, though, he gets like very little to no. He gets like no love at all. It's like because he suffers the same fate as all the other Thunder monsters in the Thunder monster category. If it ain't this guy right here or this guy, none of them are worth using. That's the same thing. It's just been the same thing for eons and eons and eons. Why use Generaria when you can use Voltic? Why use RFL when you can use Voltic? Why use Exoscale when there's Voltic? Why use Tempest when there's Voltic? Every single Thunder monster, pretty much. Why use this when this exists? It's the basic thing. It's the basic meme, or the basic discrimination or something like that. You get my point. Everybody only ever uses this one or this one. These are the only two. Everybody's like crossed up. Like I think especially in like the higher tier area, they only see this one and they only see this one in terms of like an offensive sense. And so some of them just stick with just this one and just one on a defense sense too. Like they just completely ignore every other Thunder monster that exists. No one else exists. That's it's just ugh. Ugh. I'm pretty sure we could find a wiki comment down here. I'm pretty sure we could find like a wiki comment down here that says, this guy's really bad. Just use Voltic. I'm pretty sure we could find at least one of those comments. I don't really want to bother though. But I'm pretty sure there's at least one. There's at least one, like one Voltic comment for each and every Thunder monster in the game. At least one. I bet. I mean, like not in the game, but in the wiki comments, it's always a thing. Oh, this isn't great because why use this when there's Voltic? It's just disgusting. I mean, it's understandable that like people really love a monster that pretty much breaks the rule of just getting maybe like a few, like maybe one or two turns. This guy, I mean, like Voltic gets like several turns just by building stamina alone. It's game breaking. Why would you want to use anything that's not game breaking? And that's kind of, I don't like that. I mean, like it's okay to love a I mean, it's all right to have a huge fan, but I mean, like just to cancel everything else though, it's just meh. It's yeah. I don't like the. I've never liked this statement at all. I always think you should use a variety of monsters, use different things, expand. But yeah, this is a really this guy actually counters Voltic too, if ranked up a bit. Naturally, I don't know how well he fares against him, like in a natural sense. But I imagine if you ranked up Uria quite a few times, maybe like two or three times, he starts to put a dent in a level 100 Voltic. You can imagine how much damage he does to him, and he probably even outpaces them if they run the same kind of speed. If they're only running a single speed, he'll outpace the Voltic, and he'll just destroy it. I'm saying in the sense of like a defense, like the Voltic's on defense, and you're playing on the attack. You're like, yeah, I can't imagine that. He probably can stomach a lot of his damage too, because they're both Thunder monsters. So the only damage output Voltic will even do to him really is from his special damaging moves. And that's about it. Honestly, I think he only doesn't Voltic only. Doesn't Voltic only have one or two? I can't remember, but I don't know if they were the most highest damage. I think it was like a 15-1. I mean, something else, maybe 40 damage. I don't remember. But anyway, this guy is not bad. Uria is a really good monster. He just doesn't get a whole lot of credit, and that's, again, it's really disheartening. His power is 3,454. This is an exceptional power. It's a little bit below the gospel power of 465, but that's okay. It's just a little bit off. It's not going to hurt too much. It's an alright power against pretty alright. Life is 29,858. Now, I do believe that this guy is one of the tankiest Thunder monsters in the game. Just one of the tankiest ones. I don't think there's any Thunder monster at the moment that meets his life power. He's got a really high life. for a thunder monster. I think he is the highest life thunder monster at the moment. That's totally it should be the case. I can't imagine anyone else having higher or over 29k for a thunder monster. I can't imagine that. So odds are he has the highest life. Odds are. His speed is 3,432. This is a respectable speed for an attacker. A lot of attackers are usually slow, or just don't run the speed at all. But this is a pretty respectable speed for an attacker. That's pretty great. It helps him with his long ability. His like kit is really like designed like because it's all on low cooldowns. You can pretty much use his moves in a great rotation. Like the two of his highest damage moves are only on 1 turn cooldown, so you can cycle between the two. And the like one's a 60 damage and one's a 65 damage. Pretty good, respectable damage output, and it's special damage, so that's also a plus. He is weak to earth, of course. That's a given. His trait is also tough. This is actually a really awesome trait. 35% chance to miss your status effect is annoying. You may even lose a common just because of this effect, and it can really annoy people. It really bothers people when they lose their common just because they couldn't stun you because you have this trait. Because it's just a chance. It's not even 100% chance. It's like a 35% chance that it doesn't like land. And so you can imagine how irritated people will be if this actually goes through, and they don't get stunned, if they don't get frozen. This bothers people. I mean, this trait in general just bothers people, and it's great. It's great that Uria has this trait because it complements with his really well-rounded stats. He's probably one of the more well-rounded in terms of stats. He's probably one of the most well-rounded, if not the best well-rounded stats. I'm just saying in terms of stats, and in terms of like the power, the life, the speed, they're all really respectable. They're all really nice. They are really respectable. Ura's Onslaught deals very heavy thunder damage to target. It's a single target move, 90 damage. He's probably one of the few generals that can actually take advantage of this ultimate in terms of damage output, because you'll more than likely see damage on this monster. A power strength rune, like things like Thetes, and things that don't build a strength rune. Obviously, these like ultimates really don't do any good for them. The only real generals that can take advantage of really these ultimates are those that build into like a strength rune. So things like Uria, things like Ulsis on occasion, Ulsis, General Shalinar, or Shananar. Yeah, General Shananar, which is actually an AoE. Shananar is the only general that has an AoE ultimate. The only drawback is it drains all the stamina. And a tomb. I don't know if that's all of them. I probably missed a few. That's all right. But this is again, it's one of the generals that can take advantage of his ultimate. Clearly, you can only ever use this on the monster that's not a thunder monster, unless like the thunder monster's so squishy they get killed instantly killed by a 90 damage thunder move. That's interesting. But yeah, you get my point. This does really heavy single target damage. It's great for 2v2 situations. I don't know about 3v3s. Maybe for 3v3s if you really need to get something done or something killed. There's nothing really in skill groups 1 worth talking about. Electric Charge deals moderate special damage, may blind target. It's a 45 damage, 27 stamina, 0 turn cooldown. He has an advanced one of this. I wouldn't recommend this one because he has an upgraded one that's on a single turn cooldown, and I do believe it's a 60 damage one. I do believe it's that. I'll get more into depth at how great this, single like target, just kind of like blind is, how good it is and stuff like that. Dazzling Blast deals moderate thunder damage, may daze target. Again, this combos really well with blind, but I'll get to that as soon as I get to the next kind of skill group. So you kind of run everything in skill groups 3 and Electric Concade, which is deals moderate special damage, may daze target. This requires no cooldown. It's a 30 stamina, I'm sorry. 30 stamina and 55 damage. This is a respectable damage. This is some pretty respectable damage. 55 damage, 0 turn cooldown. stamina. But yeah, it's pretty alright. You know, it's respectable damage. It's spammable. You might not even ever have to use it, and unless you want to combo that with the blind, which you should probably do if it's a long-term fight. You should totally combo the daze with this attack, electrified attack. Which is deals heavy special damage, may blind target, requires cooldown of a single turn. Note that it's a single turn cooldown, 29 stamina, and it's a 60 damage move. This is really nice. It's in terms of attackers, it's nice to have a 60 damage move only on a 1-turn cooldown. It's only 1 turn, which is interesting because, you know, a lot of people like to use Timeron. You know, this is a great thing. He's really great in long-term fights because all of his cooldowns, all of his high damage are just really low cooldowns. Are they the highest damage moves in the game? No. Are they respectable damage? Yes. And they all run on low cooldowns. Again, 1 turn, 0 turns. There's very few attackers that can complement this kind of power in terms of cooldown edge. Uria is one of the very few monsters that have really, really low cooldowns. You know, there's only like a handful. There's like a handful of monsters with 0-turn cooldown moves, but beyond that, this guy is one of the after those monsters with literally no cooldowns at all. This guy's pretty close to them in terms of cooldowns and in damage output, which is really nice. It is really great. Multi barrages is a 40 damage thunder AOE. Obviously, this won't hurt the thunder monster all that much, but it hits kind of alright with everything else. This is a respectable AoE. It doesn't do any form of status effect. I think that's why people don't like this. People don't like the AoE all that much, just because it doesn't stun or like do anything. It's just damage, and that's totally alright. But yeah, it's just damage. So it does a good chunk to like things that aren't obviously thunder, not too much to the thunder monster itself, and all that jazz. Charged Boom deals heavy special damage, requires a cooldown of a single turn, 31 stamina, 65 damage. This is a really respectable damage move. I know it runs on a 1-turn cooldown, which is really nice. Obviously, you can cycle if you ever wanted to. You could literally just cycle between the 60 damage and the Charge Boom. You could totally cycle between these two attacks. They do really heavy damage. You can rotate it well. If you ever Timeron, he does. In all honesty, Uria really doesn't care about being AoE, AoE cooldowns activated because all of them are on a very low cooldown. I didn't even point out the fact this was on a 2-turn cooldown. You can use this a turn early from when, after you've used this, you can use it a turn before even the other people use their AoE again. Usually an AoE is on a 3-turn cooldown. This is a 2-turn cooldown AoE. I really love AoEs on a 2-turn cooldown. So, can't imagine how great he is in a Timeron fight. Uria really excels at Timeron fights because of his low cooldowns of like a single turn, which is really helpful. So, rune sets. I will say it's your choice between a 2 damage and a speed. 2 damage and a speed. The extra guy build, which is a strength, life, and speed to take advantage of all these stats. He has really well-rounded stats all around. If you wanted to see his stats at 110, this is what he is at 110. Really great stats all around. Here's at 115. This is why he's really great at countering Voltic when he's really high in level. 115 is when it gets really, really nice. And you can imagine at 120, if you guys actually make it this far and ascend him to 120, these are his stats at 120. Now these are really impressive stats all around. If you ever get this guy to 120, this guy runs really nice. In terms of damage, just outspeeding all damage dealers and a lot of damage dealers in general, which is really, really awesome. So yeah, if you did get the multiple Urias, you did alright. You did a good thing. You did the right thing, because you know how popular Voltic is in war. A lot of people know like Voltic is really a go-to choice in war. So if you have like a General Uria that's really well ranked up, the Voltic will totally have trouble just taking that out. He's really good to put on defense in wars where you just have like a common or an uncommon, and so the Voltic, I mean, like the denier has to deny Uria within that turn, or he's gonna blow up the uncommon. And then if he's continued not to get denied, if the Voltic doesn't kill Uria, then he's gonna kill the denier too, and quite possibly at some point he might kill Voltic. He might kill Voltic first. Keep that depending. I guess it depends on the life order. The AI usually prioritizes on low life people first. If it actually does the AOE. AOE first, you'll kill for sure kill the common and do some really heavy damage to your deny. And he might go for your deny next, or you could go for Voltic next. If it's a really high level area, Voltic's gonna either take some really serious damage, or die. Those are the two possible outcomes in that situation, depending on the rune build of the area you're facing. I can imagine a lot of people doing the extra guy build for a defensive area. I can see that. I can totally see that. But yeah, despite his really well-rounded nature, again he gets a lot of downplay. That kind of saddens me. But it's just player preference, I suppose. People have rights to do like other things or beliefs, and that's totally fine. But yeah, that's all you really need to know about General Uria. All around great monster. Totally pick him up. He's really fun to use. I use him quite a bit in PvP with a whole bunch. In all honesty, I didn't even talk about partners real quick. In all honesty, he kind of works well with anybody. He's kind of like that. In all honesty, he works well with anybody. If you have like a life-sustaining team, he works great in that. If you do like the extra guy build, he'll take advantage of that life regen. Oh, totally. Demise, Gretchen. If you put him on really any team you guys want, damage boost. Any kind of play, any kind of that format, or just literally anything. You put him on any team because he runs on low cooldowns. He has a little bit of support in the blind and daze. And keep in mind, if the enemy, in any situation, if the attacker is blinded or dazed, which Uria is fully capable of, it's never a good time. If the attacker doesn't land his attacks, it's never a good thing. It's always like hindering that they aren't landing their attacks and or they're doing less damage, which kind of inputs on the daze. So you can probably pair Uria up with quite a few partners that do power reduction, things like Totem, things that poison like Jabeline and Bleed. No, Jabeline does poison and bleeding. You can keep stacking the damage reduction. You can just combo it well with vast majorities of things. You can put him with the teams that heal. You can put him on anything because he's really designed for pretty much any situation, any comp where he works well in, because he's just just his stats. He's naturally well in everything. He builds really well. Now that can be said for quite a few generals in the game. That can honestly, that can be quite used in any kind of given situation. Like Thedes, Atum, and Invarv. I think those, and Ulysses too. Those are the generals that really kind of work well with any team. Really. Maybe there's some that don't, but I think those, in all honesty, whenever I see those kind of generals in war, they seem to go really well with each other. Atum and Invarv especially work well together, because I fought against it one time and it was just a nightmare to deal with, because of AoE shields. If I didn't stun one, the other will do some kind of supportive move like AoE life regen and stamina drain, or life regen or health regen, all that jazz. And if I didn't freeze Atum would do his shields, and it's just a nightmare. I think in terms of partners, I think Atum, really Atum, Invarv, or Thedes. Those are, because again, Uria works well with pretty much anybody. He goes on any comp. His damage is, in terms of cooldowns, it's non-existent cooldowns. Once again, he's very versatile. Again, he's a very versatile fighter. He's built for long play. He's built for long plays. He's built for pretty much whatever you want him to do. And I think that's really cool. That's everything you need to know about General Uria. If you have any questions about him or just any question in general, I'll be happy to answer it. I'm DibtheAwesome. I'll catch you guys later.